right, so if you could just tell us your name and your age.
Marcus Branch, 19 years old.
So Marcus, how long have you been down here in Seg?
In SEG, I've been down here for about a week and a day. But like in this facility, I've been here 3 times for like 3 years since '04.
So after you came the first time, didn't that kind of scare you enough to say, I'm never going back there again?
Yeah, I kept on messing up on parole and yeah.
You know, people always wonder, after a kid like you serves time in a place like this, and then you say you go out and you mess up on parole, they wonder, how does that happen? Why does that happen?
It was really my fault. Like, I'm associated with a gang, and like I did some things, kind of regret it. But yeah, that's why I'm back. Well, the 2 times that I came back, that's why I came back.
Well, gangs seem to be at the root. Gangs and drugs seem to be at the root of almost everything. Talk to me about that.
Um, like, gangs and drugs. I would say yeah because like it's all about kind of respect and like in the streets you kind of had to do certain things like you had to what they call put in work. You had to like do some things. You had to like first off you had to like get in the gang. That's the first thing. Get jumped in, and then like you do a couple missions. And then like if you want to move up in rank, you're gonna have to do like certain things. Like if you get a direct order, you have to do it. And like that was kind of like me. Like I was trying to move up in rank, so I kept on getting direct orders to do this and that. And so like I'm high rank, but like it wasn't worth it because I kept on getting locked up. So
When you say missions, like people who don't know anything about gangs or what goes on inside a gang, what would a mission be? What would be a typical mission?
like let's say like you rob like I'm associated with GD. So like let's say like I rob a vice lord and like basically put him to the point where like like if he's there like I still rob him, then I can get basically I can get ranked by doing that. Or like let's say you kill a vice lord, that's definitely gonna get you up there. And then like you had to like I don't want to say you have to sell, but like it goes along with it, it's just a part of it.
Aren't you scared when you're out there doing this stuff?
No, it's just the way I grew up.
So as far back as you can remember, this is kind of what you've seen and what you've done.
Right.
So do you blame your family life? What do you blame it on?
I can't really say that. Like, I kind of blame it on the neighborhood I was raised in because, like, my brothers, they did the same thing. I have 4 brothers, so, like, even my younger brothers doing it now, so I can't really blame it on my family. I had to say it was where I'm from, the neighborhood.
What you were surrounded by.
Right.
Okay, so if somebody let you out of here, put you in a great neighborhood and big house, gave you a job, do you think that would keep you on the straight and narrow? If it was all handed to you tomorrow, could you stay on the straight and narrow?
It'd be hard because I'm just so used to doing the things I did to come back here and like, I don't know, it'd be hard. I don't think I could.
So what can somebody do to help? If you get out of here, what could somebody do for you that would make you stop committing crimes?
Yeah, like you say, I think that would be the best thing they could do. I could try it, but I'm not used to it. My father, he's a high-ranked gang member. My mother, she's in an opposite gang, but somehow they met. But yeah, if somebody tried to help me out, like I give it a shot. I do my best.
So, but even though they're in gangs, you don't blame them for the situations you've been in?
Even if it was their fault, I can never blame my mother and father. I mean, they've always shown me love. Like, I can never blame them. I can never say like it was my mom and dad's fault.
How do you feel about them seeing you locked up like this?
Um, well, like I don't really have feelings about it. Like my dad, he's been locked up before, and so like, I mean, I kind of feel bad that I'm in here. Like, I have a girl that's on the house there. I got you know, I can't really say it life, but you know, it's better than this.
You know, I think it's just hard for people on the outside to understand how to stop the kind of cycle
Yeah,
that seems to happen.
yeah, I see what you're saying.
Because it's not that people aren't rooting for you once you get out. I mean, most people, once you kids get out, people are saying, okay, do it this time. Stay straight, get a job, get your education.
Yeah,
Because you know when you leave here, you're 18, then you end up in adult prison.
right. And unfortunately, I'll probably end up there.
Unfortunately, you'll probably.
Right, because it's hard to break the cycle.
So tell me how you feel and what your thoughts are about possibly being in an adult prison someday.
Well, I've been here so many times, I'm getting used to it. Like, you're never supposed to be scared. So like, you know, I'll go and I'll just have to do my time there.
Now, I've talked to a lot of people who've worked in the adult system who say kids think they can handle adult prison when they're 18, but they really don't think that's true.
Right? I mean, I've heard stories like people getting raped over there, and like all they do is work out. But like I heard stories about this place too, and you know, I've been here so many times and like gotten used to it. I think I'll just adjust over there.
Is it depressing at all for you that that's kind of what your mindset is? That your mindset isn't, I'm done with my old ways, I'm getting out of here and I'm going straight.
Yeah, I mean, it's sad. It's depressing because like I got a girl out there. I got like I guess you could say I kind of got like a better life than in here, but like, you know, unfortunately, it's just a cycle. I mean, I'm so far in the game, I can't come out. So
And I've heard once you're in a gang, it's almost impossible to get out.
right,
Explain that to me.
the only way out through it, and if you're really in the game, the only way out is death. You know, that's the only way out. So
That's pretty heavy stuff.
yeah,
So is it worth getting in the first place?
I wouldn't recommend it.
So if there's a little 11-year-old out there thinks he's a cool little gangbanger, what would you want to tell him?
Um, I tell him no. Um, because like once he enters the gang, if he's really in it, I mean, the only way out is through death, and like he'll be locked up all of his life, and he'll just have to keep going with it. Because once you get in, I mean, there's basically no way out.
Any final things you want to say? Want people to know about you or
Yeah. Um, let's see. I want to say, like, just in case I don't get out, I want to say that, to my girl that I love her, uh, Juliana Grace Bragg, uh, and then I want to say to my family that I love them too. So,
you know, you were pretty loud before we came over here and then we talked to you and you're like a gentle, soft-spoken kid.
yeah. Like, um, yeah, I guess so.
Do you want people to know that there's good in you somewhere? Because I think people who drive by a place like this just assume that the kids are in here.
Yeah, I mean, there's good in me. Uh, like, but like, you know, for the most part, like, when you drive by and see the kids from Pendleton, I mean, you know, I wouldn't say they're the best kids, but they're not the worst either. Like, uh, they're not all bad. Some of them are trying to go home and have lives to go back to. Not all of them are in gangs. Uh, so like, you know, not all of them are bad, but so yeah.
Well, thanks for talking to us, Marcus. what you're just saying?
Yeah.
Right?
Okay.
So you were telling me about the timeout. Tell me about the timeout rooms. What are those? What are they used
Well,
for?
we have 4 timeout rooms. The kids go in there to cool out. Sometimes they had, if it's a fight on the unit, we'll contain them there before they are shipped to the special housing unit. They can also go in there voluntarily if they're having problems on the unit or need to distance themselves because they're getting frustrated. They can use that. They can stay in there up to an hour, and then we'll send them back to the unit, provided that they're calm. If they're not calm, then we'll have to extend that time, but we'll have to monitor them on the cameras. And also we as staff, if we see them in there and they're playing too much and they're causing disruption, if I see it or the officer sees it, then we'll remove them from the unit because it's, you know, inciting a riot or something like that. And we want to contain, you know, any violence or the threat of violence. So to keep them safe and others safe, we'll use the timeout rooms.
So tell me about the kids in this particular unit. What are they like? Tell me about these kids.
These are, I work with the sexual offenders. We have everybody here from the ages of 10-year-old to 18. We have some 19. If they have placement issues, they may have to stay a little longer. We have them, C7 is our young offenders. They're from 10 to 16. When after they reach 16, then we'll separate them and they'll go either to 5, which is a medium risk unit as far as their sexual offense, and C8 and C6 are higher risk. So we'll separate them as far as risk. And then they'll get their treatment from their counselor. Each unit has a counselor, and then we have a head counselor who's Counselor Grayhouse. And we just meet their needs and make sure that they have a placement when they leave. They're usually here anywhere from 8 to 12 months, sometimes longer. It just depends because discipline, treatment, and placement all plays a part in this. So.
What have you seen some of the kids do? Sorry. Have you seen them, you know, act out physically? I mean, in the timeout rooms, even banging the doors?
Yes.
Tell me some things you've seen.
Timeout rooms, yeah, because a lot of them are letting off steam, so they will hit the walls, they will hit the door, they'll cuss a lot. If we feel that they're a threat in the timeout rooms and they say they're going to kill themselves or something, we have a medical, 24-hour medical, so we'll use our medical staff and they'll keep a monitor on them, and if it gets to the point where it's really getting bad and they're hurting themselves real bad, then we have a padded cell, so we'll talk to Dr. Craig, who's our social psychologist, and we'll send them down there if we have to, because we have a medical unit that has beds that'll house them. It's called sheltered housing. So if they need closer observation, they'll go there. But we'll observe them if they're just really frustrated, hitting the wall and saying they may kill themselves or something. We have to observe them, and we'll use the cameras.
What does your experience tell you about what these kids have been through before they've come to Pendleton? Have they had a hard life at home? What do you kind of get from them?
Sometimes they'll actually come out and tell us. Some of them share their offense, some of them choose not to. Eventually they all will. They have low impulse control, so everything's immediate with our sex offenders. They want it right now, right then, right when they ask, and when they don't get it, sometimes we have the frustration. They're not really as violent though, they don't really fight as much, but they, like I said, the impulse control is a big problem over here. They're right now, they'll get aggressive when they can't get their way, but for the most part, they're pretty calm. I enjoy working with them, but you know, some of them you can tell if they had a hard life, but then because they're not as trusting, but then you develop a rapport with them, and then they'll get a little more trusting, and then they calm down and they kind of mesh. So they usually are just about how you see them now, very clean most of the time. I enjoy working with them.
So what kind of sex, I mean, a lot of people don't realize that, you know, there are kids who are sex offenders.
Mm-hmm.
What are we talking about as far as types of offenses?
Oh, a little bit of everything. I'll let Grayhouse go into more detail with that because he handles all their cases as far as treatment, so he knows each individual case, so I'll let him discuss that with you.
What's your hope for these kids?
Well, that they'll get out and won't offend again, that the treatment actually works, and that, you know, a lot of them, and that they'll get a placement that'll take care of them and won't abuse them again. Because some of it is abuse, then it's followed by abuse. They'll abuse somebody else, you know, victimized, then they victimize others. So I'm just hoping that they'll get a placement where they can feel safe and secure and, you know, won't commit another offense, that the treatment is successful. That's our goal. So I'm just hoping that works out.
Final question. What's it like for you coming to work every day? Tell me about coming to work every day.
Coming to work every day. It can be stressful because not only am I in charge of the offenders, which is 96, I'm also in charge of the staff. I'm in charge of this complex, making sure it's clean, making sure that I meet all their needs, whatever the officer can can do for them, then I have to step in and do handling all small problems, defusing problems, verbally de-escalating. I do that all day. So, I mean, you know, sometimes it's stressful. Sometimes I come in and everything is just right on beat. You know what I'm saying? Because they know what I expect, but sometimes if I come in late, like today's my late night, sometimes the morning could have been rocky for me, then I got to come in and calm everything down. So it just depends, but I enjoy it. It's stressful, but I enjoy it, you know. So that's about my day in Pendleton Juvenile Correctional Facility.